Bam! Going live. Welcome to the stream tonight, everybody. Yeah, I know you guys probably noticed my fancy shades. Yeah, Coach Sanders sent me these from Colorado and told me that I needed to wear them every time I have a live stream from here on out, as long as they keep winning games. And I told him I appreciated that because I wanted to go hang out with The Rock and stuff over there, but I was busy doing my I was busy doing my live stream, so I couldn't make it over there. So okay. Well, those didn't come from Coach Sanders, but anyway, they look like the ones that he was passing out, just cheaper. Welcome to the live stream tonight, everybody. Pro Se Legal School. I'm Coach Neighbors, and you guys know what the hell this is all about. So we need to just get rolling on the program. So tonight we're talking about we're going to be talking about the value that you guys are finding, or that some people are finding in prosecutor eliminator package, and we're going to talk about a couple of different ways that that package has been structured to be used. And so that's going to be pretty cool. So I'm also going to respond to questions. If anybody has any questions about stopping this situation for a family member or something or whatever, we'll be covering that too in the end. If you have questions about how to get something stopped, and then I'll just give you my quick idea on what I think that needs to be done. And wait. Hopefully I won't have to when we get done here tonight. You'll have idea what you need to punch these people in the face that are coming after you with criminal charges when there's no injured party or no damage to property. So we're just going to kind of get rolling here. If anybody has any questions, you can throw them out there, and then I'll throw them out and just throw them in the deal there so you don't forget, and then I'll touch on them when I get to the end of the program. Is there anybody here tonight that saw my tweet on Twitter about tonight's show? Let me know if you did. Because I want to know if anybody saw that. Who knows? Now, the additional value in the prosecutor eliminated package, it can be used. Well, it's structured to be used to get people out of jail. And actually, I was structuring this to get my wife out, and I didn't quite have it finished in time. They got tired of me harassing them, and they let her out early. But I still finished the package, and there's several people using it. And in the beginning, they were able to tell me, what they thought about it. But not so much in the end. So, and I'm good with that, because if they're not coming to me for coaching, then that means that they no longer have a freaking problem. I said freaking problem. Okay, so for those of you who haven't figured it out yet, whenever attorneys get their asses whopped and backed into a corner, they require you to sign a non-disclosure statement. Now, you don't really have to do that when you're beating their ass, but to me, it seems like that's a small price to pay for peace of mind. So, and I had one guy tell me, "Oh no, I'm not signing that because I'm going to give you." I'm like, "Dude, you're an idiot." Okay, I'm sorry, you're an idiot. Are you kidding me right now? The number one goal is either to stay out of jail or to stay in your house, or both in some cases. Okay, so I'm not sitting over here telling you to risk all of that so I could have your review. You see, I got a whole bunch of reviews I don't even have time to post. People who wait for that review to provide them with value are the ones that that need to just go lock their ass up over there and just be done with. Because if you can't see the value, then and you're gonna wait for somebody else, well, you know what they say about that dog that ain't the one that ain't up front. Okay, you're watching the same ass. And the view never changes. Now, the demand for 3.5 million in sanctions has been updated in that prosecutor eliminator package, and that demand is totally off the chain. Demand for sanctions is what actually is one of the things that makes this thing pop right out for stopping the process or for getting people out of jail. And that demand for sanctions comes in at 3.5, and that number is in red font, so you can change that. You can only change what's in the red font. You can change that. And that demand for sanctions, it's fire. It challenges the validity of the criminal statute. Remember, we talked about statutes and codes are non-valid laws, whatever. So, demand for sanctions, we come in the door originally demanding sanctions because the attorneys didn't do a reasonable pre-filing investigation. Now, I got this information off the Bar Association's own website, okay? But I took it and we added a little something to it. So now, instead of just going with the demand for sanctions because they failed to do a reasonable pre-filing investigation, we're demanding sanctions for a couple of different reasons. You actually have two demand for sanctions in the package, and you don't want to file them at the same time. You want to punch them one punch at a time and wait for them to go over there and sit there happy as a down. So that's kind of how we do it. Yep, you do not file them both at the same time. So here's how it goes. Demand for sanctions. You demand for sanctions because the attorneys are supposed to do under Rule 11 a reasonable pre-filing investigation. And in the document, it spells out what a reasonable pre-filing investigation was. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so here's the thing. I like to keep this shit simple. Here's the thing. Had the attorneys done a reasonable pre-filing investigation, or the prosecutor or whomever had done that, they would have uncovered the fact that, work with me here, that the criminal statute is not a valid law, because it doesn't have the three things necessary for that the Constitution and the federal law mandates. It doesn't have an enacting clause, doesn't have a title, doesn't have a body. Now, the enacting clause tells everybody from what authority the law came from and who's subject to following it. And if you know that, I think you would understand why the hell statutes and codes do not have them. Because then it would say, this is a rule, a policy from a damn corporation that don't have jurisdiction to send your happy ass nowhere. And then no one's following it. Now people follow it because they've been trained to believe that a statute is a law, and it's not. It's a policy put out by a corporation. Okay, so now you're challenging the prosecutor's criminal case, the whole thing, with a demand for sanctions. And remember, had they done a reasonable pre-filing investigation, they would have understood that their statutes are not valid laws. There's no injured party. The judge is being paid by the state, and the state is the one jamming your ass up, and the state is the one that's going to receive the windfalls from locking your ass up in jail. Yep, there's a whole lot of money on locking people the hell up in jail, and that's a whole couple of different live streams on that, and very complicated. I didn't think we were going to be done. Just this. Take my word for it. Yep, all the politicians have stock in the jail. All of them, I think. I'm pretty sure. Anyway, so the demand for sanctions is very special because it allows you, it's like a mini lawsuit that you can file right in the prosecutor's crap without having to pay filing fees or without doing anything. We even use it in non-judicial. In the mortgage fraud package, the demand for sanctions has been specifically personalized for the mortgage fraud. And yeah, it's so powerful. We use it in non-judicial foreclosure. When they send you something saying that, they're the notice of default letter or whatever, we just have to serve that or send it priority mail. So the clerk has to sign for it. You want to send a copy to the judge's chambers and write on the top in black marker, chamber copy for the judge. They all should get a copy of the demand for sanctions. And I would attach a copy of the notice of default letter to it. And I would tell the clerk in the letter, in your correspondence, please see the attached letter. These fools are going to be filing eviction process against me. And when they do, could you please file this document as the number one document that I want to have filed in the case, since there's no case number. Yeah, they tell you there's no case number. So just file this in, So the idea here is to get your facts in their face. Okay, you get your facts in their face. Most people don't realize that the attorney, the prosecutor, those fools, they're the same thing. Bar members' number one job, the number one job is to protect their errand boy. You know, the judge, the number one job is to protect the judge. And in the conventional program, when the judge throws you under the bus, oh yeah, they tell you to go file your appeal. And by the way, we're going to be at your house at 10 o'clock in the morning on Monday. Yeah, and they don't really give crap. So if you have to file an appeal, you should be suing somebody's ass. That's kind of how I see it, because I'm thinking the appeal's not going to do me no good. I'm appealing to their buddies. Asking their buddies for some free shit? No, they're just gonna put your ass on ice, call timeout, put your ass on ice. That's how they do it. So the demand for sanctions is what messes up the program. Now, if the judge don't grant you the sanctions that you're demanding because you spelled out pretty much everything that's wrong, well, the main things that's wrong with their case in this demand for sanctions, and if the judge don't grant it, then you can file a claim against the judge for helping them. That's pretty much what it comes down to. It comes down to holding these fools liable when they throw your ass under the bus. And that's what we learned how to do. Demand for sanctions is like a mini lawsuit. And now you can force the judge to grant your sanctions. Because the prosecutor cannot verify that the criminal statute is a valid law. And the prosecutor can't argue the fact that the judge is being paid by the state. The state's been paying the prosecutor. The state's paying the police officer. Yeah, I brought this up when I was in traffic court when I learned how to do this stuff many years back. Yeah, and I told the judge, it appears to me there's conflict of interest because the state's paying you, the state's paying the attorney, the state's paying the prosecutor, the state's paying that lady over there doing the thing. The state's paying everybody except me and all these people sitting in the audience. Oh, yeah, just got real mad. Yeah, but I didn't care because they could lock me up. They already did, and I didn't care. So, and well, they had to drop that shit. It took them a year, but that was a long time ago. We don't mess around that long. I had to keep paying myself for a real long time. Oh yeah, so that's just the first demand for sanctions. The second demand for sanctions, you're demanding sanctions for, Rule 11. The fact that they didn't do a read and pre-file investigation. Yeah, so there's two demand for sanctions and the lawsuit package. And the demand for sanctions is simple. Now, you also have a demand to strike the prosecutor's notice of appearance that they never file. Oh, yeah, they never file a notice. The prosecutors think they're like the judge. They never file a notice of appearance. So that's going to be a little problem when you move to strike the notice of appearance, and there's no notice of appearance. So there you go with that. So there's the only defense that the attorneys have used, well, one attorney's used to when the demand for sanctions was shoved in their face, was that he was whining to the judge that the demand should be stricken from the record because that demand for sanctions is something that you use after trial. Yeah, they only got to use that one time. And actually, the person that was using it knew exactly what to say. And this is how you can get things done in court if you can keep the fear level below your knees and your knees under the table so no one can hear them making noise. Yeah, so demand for sanctions is something that you file after trial. And so the person pretty much told the judge that I don't understand why anyone would want to wait until after trial to file this stuff to jam them up. Why would I want to wait till after they win? If I did that, then the judge would accept more liability, and yeah. That's the only defense they have for it. Now, the other people who used it, I only had like 2 that reported this. The other people who have used it, and believe me, there's quite a few, weren't able to to tell me about how it went. But they left me great reviews, and they still talk to me like they love me. So I'm going to assume that that everything went well. Okay, so you got those. Now these documents that I'm talking about now, some of them I put in my 2 premium packages so people can have some extra fun, some extra punch and fun. And one of those documents is the temporary restraining order. Yep, some extra punch and fun. There's a temporary restraining order to block the state from receiving federal funding pursuant to the spending clause of the Constitution. Now, the spending clause of the Constitution mandates that if the states violate due process or your Fifth Amendment, due process, I think 2 of mine, I know it was due process, I think it was Fifth Amendment, I'm not sure what the other one was right off the top of my head. Okay, but if the state violated those 2, which are in the Civil Rights Department, then they don't qualify to receive federal funding. And most states' federal funding range anywhere from 32% up to 78%. What states get 78%? I don't remember. But yeah, that state wouldn't want to have this stuck in your face. So as long as you can show that the state is violating your due process, then you can demand that the judge, yeah. And most of the time we use this in federal court, but I would use it. I would use it in state court too. I would stick it right in state court, right in their face. And the last stream had a couple people come. Actually, one lady made a comment, be free. She said, how do you make the state court honor federal court stuff? No, they don't like it. They whine about it. Okay, but if you know your shit, there's nothing they can do. Okay, there is no difference between filing Supreme Court case law in the lower courts than there is filing federal case law in state court. There's no difference. Okay. The reason they whine is because they can't go that shit the other way. They can't respond. You see what they can't respond to federal court shit with state court crap. That alone creates a hell of a problem for them on a state court level. Now, we don't wait around for them to address that, because the stuff that we file in state court is just to blow that shit up so that you can get over here out on the 50-yard line and throw some passes into the end zone, over in federal court. And the way this should work, if you do your homework and watch the 5 or 6 updated instructional videos first, and the instructional video for the lawsuit package, if you watch them and do your homework right, what should happen is the state court judge is going to have to recuse him or herself, because they can't litigate a case they're party to. They can't represent themselves. They can't represent each other. They can't represent the law firm that's hiring them. It creates a stinking problem for them. Now, the other problem that they have is that, well, I don't know, their buddy judges ain't trying to jump up in this bucket of poo-poo. Oh, hell no. They don't know. Yep. So now their state case is just floating around adamant jurisdiction without a motor, because they don't have a judge. And it don't matter what kind of crap their attorneys file in court. If the judge don't get a higher counsel and whatever. And in most other cases, remember, at the top of the program, the attorney's most important job is to, help me, let's say it together, protect the judge. So when you file the TRO to block the federal funding to the state because your lawsuit is verification that the state's violating, the state's day-to-day procedures is what you're addressing. In this case, they're coming after you with criminal charges, and they don't have there's no valid law. There's no injured party, no damaged property. There's judges getting paid by, these are all the things that I'd be saying in court. I don't know how this could work, because my legal team said, So now, if the federal judge doesn't want to follow along and block well, then you can file a claim on his ass or her ass. So basically, you just have to force them to do stuff. Oh, that's what we're doing. We're forcing them to do stuff. Thank you. I'm just an asshole that's had a lot of time to sit around and think about how I want to teach people how to kick these people's ass. Now, I need you guys to, well, you just used to, I was just used to demand to strike the attorney's notice of appearance. Because in most cases, the attorney don't have anything to verify agency that the attorney was hired by a corporation. Oh, wait, a corporation can't hire attorney anyway because corporations don't have arms or legs and can't sign shit. And this is why we put the name of people on there instead of, attorney or whatever. Yep. And so the easiest way to choke them out is to add them to your shit. Now, if you paid the attorney and the attorney's throwing you under the bus, add them to your shit. Make them a defendant. That's what we do in criminal situations when the attorney refuses to go sit the hell down because they just spent the money. They done spent the money that they got to throw your ass under the bus. So we have a package make them go sense. We actually have we have a legal malpractice lawsuit. I think it's on my thing for like $100. So I still have it down to $100, and I just refuse to move it any higher. And you're actually suing the attorney for breach of contract instead of legal malpractice in the sense that most that their conventional program addresses. And then when you sue them for breach of contract, then you can also add them to the lawsuit as a conspirator. When you do them and when you do their asses as a conspirator, you don't have to worry so much about the stating a claim and linking each person to all of these things. Now, if you invest in my shit, it's already structured to state a claim. And you know that attorneys don't lie when their mouth's moving. So they're going to tell you whatever they want to tell you. So that's how that goes. No, I like to punch them in the gut. Slowly. Oh, that's the way I roll when I box. I never knocked anybody out. That wasn't as much fun. It was not as much fun knocking them out. I like to see them suffer. That's how we do it. Well, I like to see them suffer. To me, to see them squirming and if you really want to make them squirm, then you need to add the attorney or the prosecutor. You don't do the shit to the judge because that could get ugly for you. But you add the attorney or the prosecutor's property and assets to your claim or to the demand for sanctions. You can do anything. This is what I'm trying to teach people. Okay, don't let their limitations and bullshit get in your way. You can do anything. Add that stuff to, add the attorneys, And so when you do that, you got to look up the attorney's property and see who all's the signer on it. And then, well, most of the time the attorney's spouse is signed on. So you want to add him or her to your demand for sanctions or to your counterclaim if you're in have time, or to your lawsuit that you filed in state court or whatever, or the one that you filed in federal court. And then you have to serve the spouse. You serve the spouse a copy of. And what we did when I was working with my helping my sister is we not only added the spouse, we also added the state bar association to it, so the spouse could see that they're going to have to get somebody else as an attorney. Because we're suing all of them. And they were pissed. My sister served that lady, and so okay, y'all, you don't have to kick them in the ass. Add the spouse to the shit and let the spouse do it when they get home. I'm having a lot of fun tonight. That's how you do it. You ain't got to worry about punching them in the gut. You ain't got to worry about that. Let the spouse do it. Let him explain or her explain to the spouse how they're gonna get out of this. Okay, you suing their ass, and you got the judge on there, at least one. Oh, and so you guys see here in my program, okay, you're only limited by your fear or your lack of creativity or your lack of doing your your homework. Okay, so let's just move on. You should also add, like we just said, the assets to your demand for sanctions. And then when you bust out the 42 U.S.C. 1983 civil rights lawsuit package, you can file it in state court. And this is important. You file it in state court if the feds are in your face. If the state's in your face, you want to file it in federal court. So you want to file it in the other court that's not in your face and drag their happy asses over there. Otherwise, you're just asking their friends to police your situation. And you already know how that works out. So this package is structured to be filed very quickly. Actually, all of them are really. And people telling me I'm looking at, you ain't got to change that shit. You don't have to worry about state law and all of that shit. The damn package is ready for you to replace the red font and file. That's the way it's supposed to be done. And if you do this right, this is how this should go. You should jump on the state and the judge and the prosecutor or the attorney or whatever, and the eviction people if you're there, in state. And then when that gets done and they're served or whatever, run your happy ass over to federal court, get that stuff filed in federal court, get all the parties served, and then you can demand that the federal judge order them state assholes to the table, to the settlement table. Think about it. If they can't respond, if they could not respond and did not respond to the state court beatdown, they got no standing to say shit in federal court. This is my nice, nifty way to get all the way through their process without a hearing. Just like their shit, except theirs not working too good anymore, because we're on to their stuff now. You want to get this filed before they get a chance to get their ducks lined up. I'm serious. You want to get it filed before they get a chance to get their ducks lined up. And in 100% of the cases where folks are using this bomb, in 100% of the cases where folks are using this bomb, they can't talk to me anymore. But that's a good thing, okay? That's a good thing. And that's why I ask people to leave me a review in the beginning, okay? In the beginning, even in the other stuff, the foreclosure shit or whatever. Leave me a review in the beginning after you review what you got and you feel like you got some firepower. Leave me a review. Let me know how you feel about what you got. And I also ask people to let me know when they start having fun, okay? There's going to be a time when you'll be like, okay, you know what? I don't care to throw my shit in the yard tomorrow. This is a whole lot. A whole lot of fun. I want to know let me know when you get to that point to where you're having some fun. People can't talk to me anymore. And I'm pretty sure because they signed a non-disclosure statement. And I'm good with that because here's how it goes. I'm the only legal service that I know that has badass reviews and happy people. I don't have, the only grumpy ass people I got are haters. Oh, and a couple of people have some mental issues, so I'm just going to throw that on the table too. But no, and they're obvious from the words, and the haters are obvious from the words. Everything is obvious from the damn words. Okay, like I said, I play football in college and I box. Things not smart people do, so I have to keep this stuff simple so I can keep up. Yeah, I'm about to step up. Well, I don't know Facebook user what your name is, but I didn't say you was scared. I'm just saying that their creativity is limited by your fear or your imagination or your lack of studying. I don't know. It's limited by something. Now, this package can be used to get people out of jail. And I had a couple of people. One person in particular is in my Facebook study group, and she used it to get her friend out of jail. And basically, one of the other ladies said, well, it's gangster what we do. But basically, she filed the demand for sanctions, and then when her friend called her every night to talk or see whatever, she read parts of it and told him in the phone, right there on the phone, exactly what we're doing. Exactly what we're doing. And I told her, yeah, read that shit. Tell them we're going out to the lawsuit. We're going out to the prosecutor. We're going to go out to them and tell her to tell his friends that they need to have their attorney do the same thing. Now, we already know attorney ain't going to do that shit, but the thing here is those fools listen to everybody's phone calls, and certain words trigger them to get to your shit, like prosecutor or suing or federal claim. Kicking somebody's ass. Yeah. Those words trigger and then they listen to your calls. So, like I said at the top of the program, what we do here is about facts. We ain't trying to go into court and have anybody rule. We want the judge to tell them fools to get this shit out of his courtroom or her courtroom because of the liability issue. If the judge ruled on any of my stuff, it would be like committing political suicide. Think about it. Either way, if they agreed, it'd be a problem. If they didn't agree, it's going to be a problem because you're already suing some judges on there. So they know you got no problem adding their ass to the list. If you're in this program, you need to be willing to do whatever it takes. If you're not, somebody's going to step on your back. That's right. Somebody's going to step on your back because your ass ain't moving fast enough to get shit done. I have people that have been in the program for 2 months or 3 months now, and they haven't filed a damn thing yet. It's very disappointing. Very, very disappointing because, you have what you need, and the only reason why you're facing the problem still is because you haven't done a damn thing to protect yourself or your family. Those fools have so many people who don't know what to do or who live in fear or already packing their shit up or taking a freaking plea deal or whatever. They don't have time for people that's punching their ass in the face. I'm just saying. And the flip side of that is they can't take a chance on having all the prosecutors' cases called out for investigation. Oh, if you are suing the prosecutor in another court for lack of jurisdiction and a whole bunch of other stuff, and well, if that goes on and it gets on the record, you can see, well, that would be a problem because people will be calling the judge's decisions on the table. Oh, wait, what if everybody that the judge ruled against last year figured out that the judge was paid by the state? Take your shit. And what if they figured out that the whole mortgage loan scheme, real estate deed fraud situation is structured to do exactly what it's doing from the gate? It's set up at the gate. As soon as you miss a payment, to jam your ass up. It's set up at the gate where they can go to the county recorder's office, access your property information, and fill out a fake assignment and file it against your shit and jam you up. Because they know that no one can afford an attorney. And if you hire one, an attorney's going to throw your ass under the bus in the end because their attorney friends down the street are doing the same shit to people, or they need that attorney to help them. The demand for sanctions challenging the criminal statute for being an invalid law can be filed at any time. You can challenge jurisdiction at any time, up to 15 years. And if you want to go past that, I have a way to do that, but it gets a lot more complicated. I don't really like to work that hard unless I have to. If I have to, it's going down. But if I don't have to, then we're going to have some fun and teach people how to punch these people in the face without having to work hard. Now, I would like to work closely with 5 families who have members that are locked up that they need to get out of jail, that didn't injure anybody or damage anybody's property. If there's anybody that's interested in investing in this program for that, I'll be working closely with you. I would like to work closely with you to make sure if I need to add anything to the package or change anything because right now the package structure to block them from going any further. And I think it could block them from having a person in there too, very easily. So I want to keep a close eye on it if people invest in it in the package to get people out of jail so that I can make sure that that's what we're doing. Because that would be, oh yeah, how about that? Maybe I could make it real cheap and just empty the jail. Okay, let's start with the 5 people first, okay? So if there's 5 people that are interested in my prosecutor eliminator package and you invest in that package, the first 5 people that's interested in getting family members out of jail, you give me a call. Or actually, I'll know because I'll be seeing your things come through when you make your investment. So if you invest, you should leave a note or a message or send me a email. Actually, send me a text message and let me know that you invested in the prosecutor eliminated package and you have a family member you want to bring home. And the first 5 people that contact me, I'll be the first 5 people that I work with. And who knows if this grows, we may do a webinar training or something. So that's always that's always right there as an option on the end when we start getting a few more people that need to get this thing rolling. Now, if you do get in this program to help that needing to get a family member out of jail, then I'm going to require that you leave review in the beginning, like I do actually for everyone, but I'm going to require it, and that you leave updates along the way, as long as you can leave them without jeopardizing your goal. So, and these updates I'd like to share on the live stream, so other people can see the power of the stuff that we're doing here. So I'm only going to accept the 5 people in new. Now, there's one other thing that I'm going to start doing. I have a package that I put together for people who speak Spanish, for Mexican families or Latino families. I'm old school, so I just call them Mexican families. I grew up in the Mexican community, and I love helping these guys. So I put together a program. So if English is not your first language and Spanish was, or whatever, I'm working on a program for that. So, si tienes ese problemas, habla español, por favor, llámame. Yo tengo que su necesitas para el problema. And I speak Spanish really bad, but I have several people already that we've helped save their house from foreclosure that spoke Spanish, that speaks Spanish, and they're still in the house. So we're going to step up and see if we can get a few more of these families still in their house. So if this is something that you're interested in, if you're interested in one of the lawsuit packages, either one would work. Let me know. And I have one in Spanish that, well, part Spanish, it's part Spanish, so you may need some help. If you don't speak any English, you're going to need to have someone help you with it, and I would be glad to coach the person that is helping you. So, as part of my package, and I'm hoping to roll that out sometime next week. So, if I have Spanish-speaking people that have this problem, por favor, llámame. You have a problem with the foreclosure situation, or if the attorneys are attacking you without injured party or damaged property, yeah, you guys give me a call and we'll see about getting this situation under control. Now, I'm going to post this link to the prosecutor eliminator lawsuit package here in the feed again, and I posted it at the beginning. So if anybody's interested in that, they can check that out. And that's all I got for you guys tonight. The fire we're bringing to the table. Thank you guys for the value of sharing your time. Make sure that you subscribe and ring that bell. I have a Twitter account now. Yeah, I'm moving up and I'm still learning how to use it, but yeah, I have a Twitter account, and I'm going to post a link to that. So you guys that are on Twitter, please hit me up and like me so people can start seeing my stuff, so we can get some more people in here getting some stuff done. Thank you guys for the value of sharing your time. I'll see you in the next live stream. Stay in the ring and keep punching.